NHL generator rebuild featuring the Minnesota Wild from 2000 to 2008. The core player the Minnesota Wild will build around is Mike Modano. 2000 NHL draft pick 3, Marian Gaborik, pick 33, Antoine Vermette, pick 99, John Michael Liles, pick 132, Henrik Lundqvist. The Wild don't sign Todd White or Dallas Drake in free agency. Before the 2000-2001 season, the Minnesota Wild traded a third-round pick in 2001 and a second-round pick in 2002 to the St. Louis Blues for Jochen Hetch. After the 2001 season, the Wild make one trade. Minnesota Wild trades Scott Pellerin, Curtis Leschyshyn, and a third-round pick in 2002 to the Boston Bruins for Hal Gill and PJ Axelson. The Minnesota Wild finished with a better record with Mike Modano on the team. They finished with the 12th pick in the draft. 2001 draft pick 12, Dan Hamhuis, pick 43, Mike Camilleri, pick 74, Thomas Plekanec, pick 113, Mariusz Zalewski. The Minnesota Wild don't sign any players in free agency. After the 2002 season, the Wild make two trades. Minnesota Wild trade Wes Walz, Willie Mitchell, and Dallas Drake to the San Jose Sharks for Scott Hannon and a 5th-round pick in 2002. The Wild also trade Todd White, Mike Camilleri, and a 1st-round pick in 2002 to the Ottawa Senators for Marian Hossa. The Wild had a much better record than they did originally in the 2001-2002 season. They end up with the 15th pick in the draft. This pick goes to the Ottawa Senators as part of the Marian Hossa trade. 2002 draft pick 73, Valtteri Filppula. The Wild don't sign Cliff Ronning, Dwayne Roloson, or Andre Zuzin in free agency. After the 2003 season, the Wild make a blockbuster trade. Minnesota Wild trade Mike Modano to the Buffalo Sabres for Brian Campbell, Daniel Briere, and a 1st-round pick in 2003. They also trade Andrew Brunette and Philip Kuba to the Florida Panthers for Christian Huselius and a 2nd-round pick in 2003. The Wild make the playoffs but are eliminated in the first round of the playoffs. They end up with the 17th pick in the draft. 2003 draft pick 17, Zach Parise, pick 55, David Backes, pick 58, Jimmy Howard, pick 78, Joe Pavelski, pick 154, Tobias Enstrom. Marian Gaborik is re-signed to a 3-year deal. The Wild don't sign any players in free agency. After the 2004 season, the Wild make two trades. Minnesota Wild trade Hal Gill and Jochen Hetch to the Carolina Hurricanes for Eric Cole. Manny Fernandez and Richard Park are traded to the Colorado Avalanche for a 2nd-round pick in 2005. The Minnesota Wild finished the 03-04 season with the 4th worst record in the league. 2004 draft pick 4, Andrew Ladd, pick 34, David Krejci, pick 69, Alexei Yemlin, pick 79, Johan Franzen, pick 102, Mark Streit, 167, Troy Brouwer. Marian Hossa is re-signed to a 3-year deal, and Scott Hannon is also re-signed to a 3-year deal. There was a lockout during the 04-05 season, so no games were played. At the 2005 draft, the Wild make a blockbuster trade. They trade Thomas Plekanec, Mariusz Zalewski, Pascal Dupuis, and a 1st-round pick in 2007 to the Ottawa Senators for Zdeno Chara and Chris Kelly. PJ Axelson is traded to the Boston Bruins for a 5th-round pick in 2007. The Wild trade down at the 2005 draft. They trade pick 4 to the Chicago Blackhawks for pick 7 and a 1st-round pick in 2006. 2005 draft. Pick 7, Anze Kopitar. Pick 52, Adam McQuaid. Pick 57, Keith Yandle. Daniel Briere is re-signed to a 1-year deal worth $2 million. The Wild don't sign any players in free agency. After the 2006 season, the Wild make a few trades. Minnesota Wild trade Marian Gaborik, Tobias Enstrom, and a 1st-round pick in 2006 to the Detroit Red Wings for Henrik Zetterberg and Nicholas Kronwall. They also trade Eric Cole, Mark Streit, and Antoine Vermette to the San Jose Sharks for Patrick Marleau and a 2nd-round pick in 2006. Scott Hannon and Daniel Briere are traded to the Carolina Hurricanes for Justin Williams. Thomas Plekanec, Christian Huselius, and Alexei Yemlin are traded to the Montreal Canadiens for Chris Higgins and a 1st-round pick in 2007. The Minnesota Wild make the playoffs in the 05-06 season. They get eliminated in the 1st round of the playoffs again. They end up with the 18th pick in the draft. This pick now belongs to the Red Wings as part of the blockbuster trade made. 2006 draft pick 3, Nicholas Backstrom, pick 36, Jamie McGinn, pick 79, Andrew McDonald. Zdeno Chara is re-signed to a 5-year deal worth $7.5 million per season. Justin Williams is re-signed to a 5-year deal worth $3.5 million per season. Dan Hamhuis is re-signed to a 5-year deal worth $3 million per season. John Michael Liles is re-signed to a 2-year deal worth $1.3 million per season. Chris Kelly is re-signed to a 2-year deal worth $1.2 million per season. The Wild don't sign Brian Ralston, Pavel Demitra, Mark Parrish, Kim Johnson, or Keith Carney in free agency. After the 2007 season, the Wild make two trades. Marian Hossa is traded to the Florida Panthers for Nathan Horton and a 1st-round pick in 2007. They also trade Nicholas Kronwall and a 1st-round pick in 2008 to the Chicago Blackhawks for Brent Seabrook. The Wild make it to the conference finals but lose to the Detroit Red Wings in 6 games. The Wild got a 1st-round pick from the Panthers as part of the Marian Hossa trade. They also got a 1st-round pick from the Canadiens as part of the blockbuster trade made. At the 2007 draft, the Wild trade down. They trade pick 10 to the Calgary Flames for pick 24 and a second round pick in 2008. 2007 draft pick 12, Ryan McDonagh, pick 24, Mikael Backlund, pick 118, Justin Braun. Before the 2007-2008 season, the Wild make a blockbuster trade. Minnesota Wild trade Nathan Horton, Brian Campbell, and Chris Higgins to the Anaheim Ducks for Bobby Ryan and a second round pick in 2008. After the 2008 season, the Wild make a few trades. Johan Franzen is traded to the Carolina Hurricanes for Patrick Eaves and a first round pick in 2008. They also trade John Michael Lyles to the Atlanta Thrashers for Rich Peverly and a second round pick in 2009. David Backes is traded to the Carolina Hurricanes for Dennis Seidenberg and a second round pick in 2008. Keith Yandle is traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs for Matt Stajan, Lee Stempniak, and a first round pick in 2009. The Minnesota Wild end up winning the 2008 Stanley Cup behind the terrific goaltending of Henrik Lundqvist. At the 2008 draft, the Wild trade down. They trade pick 14 to the Edmonton Oilers for pick 22 and a second round pick in 2010. 2008 draft, pick 22, Jordan Eberle, pick 43, Justin Schultz, pick 61, Gustav Nyquist. Henrik Lundqvist is re-signed to a 6-year deal worth $6.8 million per season. Brent Seabrook is re-signed to a 3-year deal worth $3.5 million per season. Zach Parise is re-signed to a 4-year deal worth $3.1 million per season. Dennis Seidenberg is re-signed to a 2-year deal worth $1.9 million per season. Joe Pavelski is re-signed to a 2-year deal worth $1.6 million per season. Andrew Ladd is re-signed to a 2-year deal worth $1.5 million per season. Patrick Eaves is re-signed to a 3-year deal worth $1.5 million per season. Jamie Howard and Rich Peverly are both re-signed to 2-year deals. Anze Kopitar is re-signed to a 7-year deal worth $6.8 million per season. This contract starts in the 2009-2010 season. David Krejci is re-signed to a 3-year deal worth $3.75 million per season. This contract also starts in the 2009-2010 season. Minnesota Wild don't sign Marc-Andre Bergeron or Antti Mantinen in free agency. Before the beginning of the 2008-2009 season, the Wild make a few trades. Minnesota Wild trade Henrik Zetterberg and Ryan McDonagh to the LA Kings for Drew Doughty and a second round pick in 2009. They also trade Nicklas Backstrom to the New Jersey Devils for Johnny Oduya, Nicholas Bergfors, a first round pick in 2009 and a second round pick in 2011. Patrick Marleau is traded to the Florida Panthers for a first round pick in 2010 and a second round pick in 2009. Nicklas Backstrom is traded to the Colorado Avalanche for a second round pick in 2009. Justin Williams, Lee Stempniak, and a second round pick in 2009 are traded to the Phoenix Coyotes for Martin Hansel and Mikhail Bodker. The Wild also trade Nick Schultz and Valtteri Filppula to the Detroit Red Wings for Yuri Hudler and a third round pick in 2009. Andrew McDonald is traded to the Chicago Blackhawks for a second round pick in 2009 and a third round pick in 2010. This is how the lineup looks like before the 2008-2009 season. The first line is Zach Parise, Anze Kopitar, and Joe Pavelski. The second line is Mikael Bodker, David Krejci, and Bobby Ryan. The third line is Andrew Ladd, Martin Hansel, and Rich Peverly. The fourth line is Yuri Hudler, Matt Stajan, and Patrick Eaves. First D pair is Zdeno Chara and Drew Doughty. Second D pair is Johnny Oduya and Brent Seabrook. Third D pair is Dan Hamhuis and Dennis Seidenberg. Goalies are Henrik Lundqvist and Jimmy Howard. On the next NHL Historic Generator Rebuild, I'll be rebuilding the Washington Capitals from 2002 to 2010.